Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We are out here with Shadowfax again today, and he's eating grain that I dropped. You know, sometimes you're carrying something and then you're moving it over the fence and you catch it on the fence board and it's on the ground. So he's eating grain that I dropped. But we're not here to talk about grain. We're here to talk about winter grooming, which sounds like such a silly thing to talk about right now. And I know that because it's the end of September. And it's actually a bright sunny day today. Look at that blue sky after all the storms we've had. It's a really nice day. It's not even overly cold. But what you have to realize is that for us, deep freeze could be less than a month away. And then it doesn't leave us till April. So we could be very, very cold for a very long time. So we have to start thinking about winter now. And one of the things you have to think about is winter grooming. If you look at him now, you're going to notice he's getting this winter woolly coat, especially if you look at like his legs and that. He is getting this really woolly coat already. Thank you, ducks. Thank you for being loud. But he is already getting woolly. So he is getting his winter woolies, that deep winter coat that he needs. And grooming in the winter, when they have their winter woolies, is a little bit different and kind of depends on your climate. So we get really, really cold. If you don't get as cold as we do, you might be able to continue mostly as normal. Grooming him as normal, maybe even clip a little bit, whatever. If you live in an area that gets really, really cold, okay, really cold, like we're 40 below for weeks at a time sometimes, then you want to care for the mane and the tail as you normally would. There is a duck flapping in water behind me, whatever. But you want to care for the mane and tail much as you normally would. Okay, so you want to keep that tail brushed out. You want to keep that mane looking silky. You want to stop splashing me. It's uncool. Anyway, not the point. There's a duck. There's a duck with some water splashing. It's not fun. Anyway, so you want to care for the mane and the tail. Okay, as you normally would. However, you want to leave that winter coat mostly undisturbed. Okay, so thank you. That's excellent. But you want to leave the winter coat mostly undisturbed, especially on those cold or wet days, because part of what keeps them warm is that undisturbed winter coat. Okay, so you mostly want to leave it alone, even if it's kind of dirty, because even if it's kind of dirty, that dirt actually adds insulation. So your horse might look really dirty and dingy in the winter, and you're just going to have to tell yourself, you know what? That's okay, because it'll help keep him warm. So you definitely do not want to brush him out more than you have to. Stop it, jerk of a duck. Get me wet. I do not need to be wet. Thank you. Anyway, so try not to groom the coat very much. If you're going to have a stretch of nice weather, so a stretch of it's not freezing weather in the winter, and by stretch I mean several days in a row, 5 to 7 days in a row, then you might want to take the opportunity to actually do some grooming and to take a really good look, because these thick winter coats can actually hide a variety of problems. So if you're not looking into that coat and you're not checking, your pony might get thin because look how thick this already is. It could hide the fact that he's lost weight. He hasn't lost weight. But you could hide the fact that your pony's lost some weight. It could also hide the fact that maybe they have lice, so you want to be checking. Maybe there's some kind of parasite. Maybe their skin is irritated and you need to attend to that. Whatever it is, you do want to be able to check. So on nice days that are not horrifically cold, you do want to do your regular grooming. Only if you're going to have some nice days, 5 to 7 days in a row. You do want to double check that they don't have any lice or anything, because winter is a good time for lice to show up. And sometimes if it's winter and the lice show up, you miss it because of the winter woolies. So do take those nice days, those stretches of nice days, to make sure that your pony is free of lice. You want to groom only during the nice weather. And this is just the beginning of his coat, you can see. So this is just, he'll get much fuzzier. So when it's that long, you might have some trouble actually getting through there with your curry combs and stuff. So don't be afraid, if your horse is not afraid, to use like a blower or even a vacuum to help with you with grooming. A small vacuum, not one of those big loud noisy ones, or even a small blower, handheld, that doesn't make a lot of noise if your pony's comfortable with it, because it'll help you get kind of the dust and dirt out, and it'll help you separate the hair right down to the skin so you can check for any lice or check anything like that. Okay, so you might want to do that and double check. Make sure your pony's looking good underneath everything, because you want him hale and hearty even in the depths of winter. Do not bathe your pony in the winter, okay? Do not get your pony wet when it's anywhere close to freezing. It's got to be awfully nice weather before you should bathe your little pony. Because if you get him wet, first of all, you're probably not going to get him thoroughly dry before it gets cold enough to freeze him to the bone, literally. So you don't want him to catch a chill and get sick. You also don't want to cause skin irritation, which trapping ice against the skin will cause skin irritation. So you want to make sure that you don't give your pony a bath in the winter unless you have a heated barn to be able to tie him in and keep him in there till he is 100% dry. Drying those winter woolies right to the skin is quite difficult and takes quite a long time. So if you're bathing your pony today, you're probably keeping him till tomorrow inside a heated barn. So unless you have the facilities to bathe your pony in sub-freezing temperatures, please do not bathe your pony in the winter. He's not going to like it. Let him just be himself. He'll be a little dirty. Now, if you have a show pony and you're showing in the winter, you probably have access to heated facilities. Otherwise, just leave him. So he's a little dirty. Spring will come soon enough. You'll be able to give him a bath then. That's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Don't get that pony wet in the winter. We'll see you tomorrow.